Today, we talking about these and why I think all men should know how to use one. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back. So, talking about firearms today and why I believe all men should know how to use one. I've seen way too many of this anti-gov movement and men fumbling around when they actually get handed a gun. Fuck that. That's bullshit. That's stupid. All men should know how to use one. All right. We are biologically programmed to be protectors. All right. We're supposed to be leaders and protectors among our groups of family, whether you have a woman, a family, and kids. You are meant to be the protector as a male. All right. There is no absolving of that duty. That is biologically programmed. All right. So learning to be able to use tools to be a proper protector is essential in this life. All right. In my opinion, if you don't know how to handle a gun, if you can't even hold one, know how to put the magazine in, how to cock the slide back and actually be able to load the weapon enough to point and shoot, you're a fucking bitch. You're a pussy. All right. Just plainly saying it. You're a fucking pussy. All right. You should know as a man how to grab a weapon, slide the magazine in, pull the slide back, and load the chamber. Okay. After that, it's just point and shoot. You should at least know that, because in the event of ever having to use one, you don't want to be caught with trying to figure out where's the safety. Oh shit, how do I load this or how do I do that? Your family can die because you don't know how to handle a weapon. All right. And of course, we're in modern times. So now it's a tool that's available. You should know how to use it. You know, back then people had swords and spears and shields and all that. You know, that's what they had to practice to learn how to use to protect their family. They had to learn hand-on-hand combat, which I still believe you should know that here too. All men should know that shit. But this society has given so many people a false sense of safety that they put their safety in the hands of police officers, which, if you ask me, it's a fucking stupid idea. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm going to put my safety in the hands of someone else? Never. I can't even possibly imagine or think that. Fuck that. I can't accept that. So for me, I think you're a pussy if you don't know how to at least defend yourself, or even know how to handle a weapon enough to have the upper hand if you don't know how to defend yourself physically. So apart from that, let's get into some stuff that I actually brought up because scientifically, just to prove you some facts here. So I was watching this documentary on YouTube that was made by National Geographic. They put this hidden camera inside a bar, and they brought in this guy that was a fucking giant, like huge motherfucker, right? And he would go around to people that were sitting on the bar. They first tried it with a man that was sitting in the bar alone with a drink. And the big guy would just come in, grab his beer, and drink it and walk away. And the guy that was, it was just males like him and his buddy. They didn't do anything. They just let the fucking giant take the beer. Then they showed it where a guy was with a girl. The giant tried to do the same thing, and the guy did not allow it. And mind you, the guy was small. You can see the significant size difference, right? He barely even stood a chance. But because he was with a female, he stood up for himself. He did not allow it because he had to show the female that he was capable of protecting her in the event of anything happening. That is biologically in a man to do so, right? When he's alone, he's willing to submit and say, okay, I don't want this problem. But if he's with a woman and he lets that slide, his chances of procreating are fucking done. All right? That is biologically triggered in every man to be able to do that. He has to be a protector. He has to be a fucking protector. There's no way around that. You can't absolve yourself of that. All right, I say that shit time and time again because I fucking fully believe it. There's a reason why we have a lot in common with chimps and the way that we socialize and set up our whole dynamic and who's alpha and who are the followers of the alpha and all that and how we interact with women. There's a lot of similarities between us and chimps. And one of the things this documentary pointed out was they did a study where they got 6 random men to work in a car, right? And they had a hidden camera in the room when they all came in to introduce themselves for the first time. And all these subtle cues in their body languages, their tone of voice, how they shook hands, how they first introduced each other, began to determine who was the alpha or the leader or the dominant male in the group of 6 men. And it's not a clear winner off of the first thing. They first have to keep interacting. There's going to be men who are trying to show the dominance. It gets tested, just like in any social group. That's why you always see, if you see a group of men, you see who is the leader, who's the main guy, and who are the ones that are second and third or fourth even. Because men always test it. You don't always notice it. It's like a subtle biological thing that we do. It just gets tested to see who is the more dominant male. There's a reason for that, because the dominant male always has first choice in mating because he is the most dominant. He is the most capable of protecting. He is the leader. That is what has been biologically ingrained in all of us. It's just been passed down biologically that's what we need. That's why we thrive when we function off of those instinctual things. This society has made us believe everything is so safe, and a lot of this stuff doesn't apply. But biology doesn't lie. You still do the things that you do because it's so ingrained in you. So when you see tests like this, you realize, like, oh shit, this is how we function. This is what happens. And then after they do that little show of trying to see who is the dominant male, then they purposely introduce a beautiful woman to come into the room with all 6 men to take a picture. Man, you see every guy begin to see how they can attract the female. And you see the guy who is considered the dominant one by that point, how he begins to express certain body language to let the girl know that he is the dominant one, that he is the alpha male in that circle, that he's the one that they should look at. And it's all subtle. I don't know if it's necessarily conscious. It seems like it's a subconscious reaction to what's in front of them. It's just this instinctual thing that comes out of a man to show his dominance and his ability to be a protector and leader. So what's my point? Going back to the whole firearm thing. This is why I believe all men should know how to use one. Because in today's society, that is one of the tools that we have. You should be able to defend against anybody that is trying to harm you. And a man is rated based on his ability to defend, to protect those around him. So any man should be able to handle a gun. In your social group, at least in my social group of men, I always bring up the whole gun issue because of the same thing. Because I see so much shit always trying to push the anti-gun stuff, that guns are bad and you need to take them off the streets, and you see people becoming anti-gun. That is, it's such a weak stance for me, because if you think about it, if you remove all the guns, if you remove the right for us to have guns, that means we have to rely on police to protect us, because that's not going to take the illegal guns off the street. There's no way if you ban legal guns that the illegal guns are going to stop showing up on the streets. For sure, they're going to keep coming up. They never follow the law anyway, so that's not going to stop. Meaning, if they completely put in the law to ban weapons and firearms from law-abiding citizens, that means the outlaws it's going to be open house for them to come in and take whatever the fuck they want because they're going to come in armed. And you're going to do what? Wait for the police to come and show up? And if you're in a bad neighborhood, they're not going to show up till later. And it's stupid to me that you have to depend on the police. And then if police only have arms and we don't, as civilians and citizens, they can do whatever the fuck they want because they have the upper hand. If in the event of an extreme situation, I'm going to defend myself if I have weapons. And if I don't have any, what am I going to do against a gun? There's only so much space you can cover running towards someone before they can actually shoot you. There's a big distance between hand-to-hand combat and how quickly you can put somebody down with a gun. If you get good at it, you can put someone down within 20 yards with a handgun. A rifle, it's even farther. And look, this whole anti-gun thing gets pushed into movies and you don't even realize it. Like, I just seen this movie called How It Ends. This scene is fucking stupid and ridiculous to me. But it's like a post-apocalyptic scene. It's the ex-military dad and his daughter's future husband. They're driving cross-country to get to the daughter. It's in another city. And it's already gone to shit. People are already starting to fucking loot the stores and trying to get resources while they can. They're pumping gas somewhere, and the son-in-law is waiting in the car, and these two people come up trying to say, "Get out of the car, I'm going to take your car." And then the dad comes back and he's like, "Oh yeah, all right, let me pop the trunk and get you let me get my stuff." So pops the trunk and he pulls out the gun. He scares them off. They run away. Right? Get in the car and they're driving away. And the son-in-law tells him, "When were you planning on telling me that?" Meaning, when was he planning on telling him that he had the gun in the trunk? In my head, it doesn't even fit. All right? As a man, you should already, in a post-apocalyptic shit like that, really? That shit should have been in his fucking waist, not in the trunk. And he shouldn't even have to say anything. And the other guy should already be prepared for that type of situation, and especially knowing how to use one. And he shouldn't be surprised that the ex-military guy actually has one and carrying one. But again, this is a story written by someone else. So there's a whole narrative behind how they want you to think. They put this scene in there because they want you to believe in the anti-gun movement and that was wrong of him to do that. Fuck that. I believe he was wrong because he didn't have it in his waist or inside the car. That's stupid. And then the son-in-law later in the movie doesn't know how to use a gun. He barely even knows how to put the magazine in and slide it and all that. He learns down the road, but like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, he's a lawyer, lives in a big city, so obviously he relies on cops and all that to protect him. This is the narrative that they're pushing on you if you don't realize it. But it's fucking stupid. All right? It's fucking ridiculous. And this goes out to all you men. All right? Learn how to use a fucking gun. Learn how to operate one. Hope you never have to use it, but you should know how to operate one. All right? Learn it. You need it for your own survival. And with that, I'll leave you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Yo, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the conversation in the comments. And I appreciate all the support.